Glad to have you here. We are joined, as always, by Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a James Beard Award nominee. The group includes GBD in DuPont Circle, also Columbia Firehouse in Old Town. Greg, it is always good to see you.
Too.
What is on tap this week?
So this week I have another Bluejacket collaboration, this time with Brian Strumke, one of my best friends in the beer business. He's the one-man band behind Stillwater Artisanal. So he kind of travels the world, brewing lots of different beers at lots of different places, brewing collaborations with many people. I mean, he has been all over the place. You know, every time I talk with him now, he's in Japan or in South America or just someplace launching his, I know, he's launching his beers and then doing collaborations as well. So before he headed out on his most recent adventure, we invited him down to Bluejacket to finally put together a collaboration beer with us, because we've been talking about doing this for years. In fact, on the first year anniversary in 2010 of Church Key and Birch and Barley, Brian, myself, and Kyle Bailey, who's our executive chef at Birch and Barley Church Key, as well as at the Arsenal at Bluejacket, collaborated to make a small batch of an anniversary beer. So there's a little bit of history to our collaboration. So we came together and we brewed this beer. It's called Pyro. And let's taste it, and then we'll talk about it.
Pyro. I'm understanding the name, I think a little bit of smoke.
Touch of smoke,
just
that's
a
right.
bit.
Well integrated with the acidity. It's a wild beer. So we're talking about, you know, doing a kind of a farmhouse ale of sorts, kind of saison, which is what Brian's known for. But we wanted to incorporate some acidity, some sourness, because we have a really cool sour program going at Bluejacket, and so we talked about that. And then I was thinking about these kind of classic, almost forgotten styles of German beers like Grodzitzky, Grätzer, or Lichtenheiner, which are kind of in the same category as Berliner Weisse and Gose, which are more well known. These older Lichtenheiners and Grodzitzky beers were typically always use some smoked malt or all smoked malt, so they have a smokiness to them, and they oftentimes were sour. Grodzitzky's sometimes were sour, sometimes not. Lichtenheiner's always sour, and so I was thinking, like, what if we did a kind of old school, mildly smoked tart beer meets a saison, and that's what we did here. So when we do this, we brew the beer, we mash it, we lauter it, we boil it only for about 15 minutes. Then we shoot it down to a tank where we have lactobacillus waiting for it. This is a positive bacteria that'll then begin to create lactic acid by converting sugars into lactic acid. We let that go for a few days. Then when we get the acidity we're looking for and the pH as low as we want, we then pump the soured wort back up to the brew house, where then we boil it for real this time, adding our hops. In this case, we use a lot of Citra and Chinook, which is cool. A little grassy, piney, earthy, almost smoky tobacco quality from those. And then once that was done with the boil, then we brought it into a tank and fermented it as usual, because now we've killed the bacteria, so the acidity stays where it's at. And so for the fermentation, we added the saison yeast that's derived from Bluejacket yeast, which is a beautiful farmhouse ale producer in Belgium. And that gives you that kind of grassy, peppery, mild fruity note in the nose. And then just for fun, when that was finished, we added a strain of Brettanomyces called Brettanomyces clauseni. So Brett is known for giving funk. This strain isn't really funky, but gives you tons of tropical fruit, mostly like pineapple. And so that's why it's got that cool like pineapple note in the nose, a little bit of smoke. We use some beechwood smoked malt, but also oak smoked wheat malt, which is a little bit milder, and then that really tart finish.
I've never had anything like it, and that's not a bad thing, but that's always fun. What would you pair it with?
I think it can go with a lot of things. The acidity is pretty big, so be careful about that. I think immediately, I always like smoked beers and raw fish, sushi, things like that, because
the wasabi,
you're kind of, can you imagine like the wasabi character with this? And also you're kind of smoking the fish table side, or adding like a hit of vinegar to pop it, or like wasabi to pop it. So I think that'd be really cool. I can see it with just like a really simple, mildly dressed green salad. And then also thinking about the Germanic roots of the Lichtenheiner and Gozas, and Berliner Weiss and Grodziskie, think about like charcuterie in general. I imagine with that nice bit of tartness against salt, it'd be great, like with prosciutto or something, especially with that fruit note, kind of melony. But also with like, just like a plate of German food. I can see this with like Wurst sausage links, some sauerkraut for the acid, German potato salad. I think it'd be kind of awesome. So even though kind of a Belgian-inspired farmhouse ale, I think it's like right at home with Teutonic cuisine.
Greg, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly, and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another beer of the week.